Hey everybody, good afternoon from Alaska. Just came outside to check on the new planting that I did. You can see here's a pretty cool trellis that I got for the peas. Peas I leave outside. They do pretty well, they're pretty hardy. So they're running up here doing pretty good. I think they like this. Seem to be vining out pretty good, growing up that, so eventually hopefully I get to the top. Maybe I have to go all the way up the side of my greenhouse, huh? I haven't done a video of the greenhouse, so I guess I could just cover that real quick. So you can see there, that is polyfilm. I've got some supports going across there. These windows are modular. I can take them off with a couple screws if it gets too hot. If we come around the back here, sorry for the shaky hands, you'll notice this back window's off, so I have some airflow. I have a fan that runs there through the front door, so you can feel right now, just standing here, that there's a nice gust. But this window comes off during the day. For now, this is how I'm taking care of airflow. Seems to do the trick. That fan's on max, so it seems to keep the temperature decent in there too, so the plants don't get too hot when it's sunny. This here is a little delphinium bed that I planted. These guys started from seed. They grew in my basement for a long time, and I just planted these a couple days ago. Sorry for my sniffles. This is a little rhubarb plant that's really sad. It doesn't like its home. It's underneath the edge of our house, so it doesn't get any water. So this year I'm trying to water it up so it can get nice and established. We just got it last year. These are my sunflowers. They had a bad day yesterday. They don't like the direct sun. I might have put them in here too soon. Maybe I could have let them hang out in the greenhouse for another day or two. But I think they're okay. A lot of these top leaves, like this one here, were pretty wilted, but they're looking like they might do just fine, so not too worried. So there's my sunflowers. Hopefully those grow up to be, oh, I don't know, 5 feet tall. They're not mammoth sunflowers, but they ought to look pretty nice when they're finished. Alright, so there's a back view of the greenhouse. You can see I used some leftover paint from when they painted our house. Eventually I'd like to paint all these side pieces of wood white to match the white trim. But for now I've been so focused on just getting stuff in the ground that I haven't done it. You can see here we got peas growing on here. They can barely keep up with me eating them, my daughter. Alright, so inside the greenhouse here, you can see I have tomatoes planted on this side. This here I've put a little bed that I raised up a little higher for my carrots and my radishes. I have tall radishes there. I don't know, probably get 5 inches tall. So I tossed a couple rows of those. Actually 3 rows of radishes, 2 rows of carrots right here, because all the carrots that I had, they're purple carrots. I grew some inside this spring, and they taste really good. Down here I've got a couple rows of basil and a couple rows of dill. And here's my lemon pepper, or what are they called? Lemon drop, sorry, tomato plant. And it's doing pretty good. It's got little flowers popping up. So, pretty happy with this plant so far. Next over we've got a velvet red. This one's leaves are still kind of curly. I just planted it last night, so I'm hoping it decides to kick it into gear and get nice and healthy. One thing I've noticed about this plant though is the leaves are really kind of frosty. So that may just be how this plant starts off, new growth, and then they kind of flatten out like these down here. I don't know. We'll see how it does. It does have flowers too, so it can't be too bad. Sorry if I had focusing issues. Down here in this little container, I haven't decided whether or not I want to leave these peppers in the greenhouse. I can't really grow them outside because it gets too cold. I'm afraid I would stunt their growth since they like nice warm weather, but these are doing pretty well. Let me get out of the way of the sun. In here I've got pimento peppers, King of the North, kind of like a bell. These are just random peppers I found in other plants, so we'll see what those are. I like surprises. These here are Takanotsume. Really beautiful plant. Takanotsume. Takanotsume. Sounds Japanese to me, but they're beautiful when they flower and put out fruit. These peppers kind of grow straight up in the air rather than down. It's pretty cool. Yep, so here they are. Next over we have a German pink. This is a potato leaf tomato. These fruits get really pretty big, I guess. These velvet reds are kind of like little tomatoes, cherry size. So are the lemon drops. This is a big kind of pink meaty beefsteak. It's supposed to be really good. All of these tomato varieties that I planted were highly recommended or past award winners from the what is it? Seed Savers Exchange Tomato Festival. So that's where I got most of my seed this year, and a couple from the store that I could find. This little guy here that seems to be having a delayed start. I think I planted this later than the other one, but this is also 2 lemon drop plants. So I planted them next to each other. We'll see how they do. I didn't want to separate them. They started in the same cup. This is a Moonglow. Another later start. Black cherry. Back there you can see there's 2 little ones. Those are Italian heirlooms. I just really want a couple of those tomato plants. You can see how small they are. I haven't had any good luck. I think I have a bigger one over here too that I haven't planted yet. But I just really want one of those to pull through. Over here, this is 2 more velvet reds. Mainly, most of what you see here is one plant. It's not looking too good right now because I kind of had to manhandle it when I planted it yesterday, so it should perk back up. This is probably my most successful tomato plant so far. It's taken off and grown like crazy. Let's see here. I'm not going to show you every single thing and give names off, but I have a few other types of tomatoes, but nothing's fruiting or anything yet, so they're all going to look the same. I'll do another update eventually. Here we have a few more tomatoes that I started in bigger containers. Here's my strawberries that I started from seed. Pretty excited about these. I don't expect big things from them. They're from store-bought strawberries, so I'll get what I get. I've heard, actually, somebody could verify this, that if you find another strawberry to pollinate them with, they'll do okay. But by themselves, that they put off just kind of small, weird fruit. I'm not a big strawberry grower yet. I'd like to be. And here's a bunch more stuff I need to transplant. You can see these here, how white some of the leaves are. I have new green growth coming in, so I think they're okay, but these were growing underneath my fluorescent bulb, and I let them go a little too long. They got up nice and close and got sun or light burnt, so these are Dester tomatoes. I'm going to plant some of them and see what happens. Over here, some kale, chard, beets, basil. I think I even have some rosemary and some cilantro popping up in there too, so I want to get this transplanted. Another German pink, lobelia, for my wife. And what do we have? More tomatoes. More tomatoes, more tomatoes. More zucchini. More lobelia. This is a Dester tomato. Another velvet red that I did for my cutting. More zucchinis. Ready to be planted. So this entire side still needs to be amended and planted. And this side here, where I did the tomatoes, I still want to plant stuff in front of the tomatoes along this edge. This is the only little spot, but basically I want to do the same thing here that I did with that in front of each of these plants. You can see I've got basil next to each tomato plant currently. I'll get that planted. Anyhow, that's pretty much the greenhouse. And yes, I do have to grow the tomatoes in the greenhouse in Alaska. It gets pretty cold here, especially later in the summer, and I want to give them every extra little bit of growing time that I can. So when it's hot like today, I'll just leave a window open, turn the fan on, and everything stays happy. So that's the greenhouse. I guess I could show you, ignore the construction materials everywhere. I still haven't cleaned up from building the greenhouse. Over here we have some snapdragons. These are funny. They grew in my basement too. Excuse the light. And they got really tall because they were all sitting so close to each other. So when they were all propped up together, they stood up just fine. But as soon as I put them in here, they all fell over. So I'm thinking I might cut them back. I think you can. And just kind of start halfway off. Get them all standing up like these little guys here. I don't know if you can see them. But that's those. Those are for my wife. They'll go in the front yard here soon. Let me head to the front yard. Oh, sniffles. So these are nasturtium baskets. Started these in the basement also. Oh, I got a dog visiting me. Hello. Not very happy about that. Over here we have a bunch of weeds, but we do have some good stuff too. Bleeding hearts. Oh, you can see we got some coming in. These are so pretty. I can't focus. And I can't remember what this is, but I see aphids. Uh-oh. Time to get busy. Another bleeding heart. And that's about it. Back to the sunflowers. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the update. I'll keep you guys posted. Till later.